their last breath, and I gotta say, at the time it felt alright. Then we got back home and tried to fit in, but the mind goes back to where we've been. Know what the hell do we do when there's no one left to fight? So here's to all my buddies who know what I've been through. From taking fire in an ambush to sitting around nothing to do. Remember, be for plenty when you're setting off that charge. Had a hell of a blast growing up too fast. Hey boys, this one's for you.
You're listening to WeP3 Radio, produced with the partnership of Reads Across America Radio with the mission to remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and teach the future generations the value of freedom created by the men and women who have served our country. Currently playing on WeP3 Radio, Doc Straw and the Scarecrows, Buddies.
Fire in an ambush to sitting around nothing to do. Remember, be for plenty when you're setting off that charge. Had a hell of a blast growing up too fast. Hey boys, this one's for you.
WeP3 Radio is produced in partnership with Reads Across America Radio. Support the mission to remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach future generations the value of freedom at readsacrossamerica.org.
Thank you for joining in today with Andrea Eichmann and Mark Peterson of the People's Patriot Project for this week's WeP3 Debrief. Find out what our crew has been working on to help support those who have given some and all to the pursuit of liberty and freedoms across Minnesota and the United States. Watch, listen, and support as we create the beacon of hope and opportunity in today's society that needs its heroes. Are you a veteran, first responder, or a patriot looking for a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and or want to help continue the mission? You have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we want to be the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always clean. We want to be part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to the WeP3 Debrief. Here's Andrea and Mark letting you know the mission. And as always, Patriot Pride.
You got it!
Yeah, this is where it goes. If you missed the show this week, you missed the show this week. It's all good. You can check it out on YouTube. Again, we got WeP3 Radio rolling behind the scenes all the time. We appreciate all the work that the men there's women too, but the men and women at Reads Across America does to help us with doing our radio station. That is exclusively veterans and first responders. I am Mark Peterson, and this is the People's Patriot Project, WeP3 Weekly Debrief, and we come here weekly to make sure that we tell you what the People's Patriot Project is doing. For those who don't follow us, and for those who do follow us, you know that every Sunday we do a show called We Got Your 6 at 6. And then we reserve Monday. That show is for Boots on the Hole. Look who's here. You just popped right in today. What's happening there, man? It was like
I'm here.
there was no lag. There was no boom. Did you guys get new internet or something down there?
No.
No.
My computer just ain't woke up all the way yet to start messing up.
Oh, okay. It hasn't woke up. So, yeah. Where was I? I was telling about what. So, we do our show on Sunday, which is boots on the ground organizations that we choose to highlight. We go out and we kind of kick the dirt as much as we can and roll over the rocks. There's roughly 58,000 organizations across this country saying they're helping veterans and first responders. We want to make sure, A, people know these organizations exist, and B, if you're not doing the job, we're going to expose that. Not that we're trying to be jerks. I was going to use a different vernacular there, but not that we're trying to be jerks or anything. But you know what? For Pete's sakes. That's weird. We got weird stuff going on in the background. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate?
Oh, I just added one because we were down one.
Yeah. So Bourbon Battle Buddies is loaded one today because we didn't get the People's Patriot Project up there because I was struggling with that one. But now we got another one up there struggling. Oh, for Pete's sakes. We're having trouble streaming Facebook. This may be an issue on Facebook's end. Congratulations. Love it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Can't get the word out if the tools don't work. This is dumb. Sorry. It's distracting me from my job or what we should be doing, but we'll try it one more time and see what happens. Boom. So on our Sunday show, which is not our flagship mission, we want to make sure that people know of the organizations that are out there helping veterans and first responders because we're losing roughly 6,000 veterans a year. We don't know how many first responders we're losing because they kind of get muddled into the rest of society. What we do know, our numbers, the numbers we're going with, prove us wrong, is roughly 10% of our country is throwing a uniform on to help. I don't know what's going on with that dumb thing. 10% of our country is strapping on the uniform to accommodate the rest of us, all of us, me included, to let us have the freedoms, the liberties, the says, the talks, post what memes you want to, talk disparagingly about whatever political party you want to talk disparagingly about, talk about the news, we have a ton of freedoms that I don't think people quite understand or have taken the time to understand. Why do we have these freedoms that we have? You know why? It's because the men and women that have served. Again, prove us wrong. There has been battle fought, and men and women have lost their lives, have lost their limbs, have lost blood, have lost their family members, have lost all these things. Wounded relationships with their family, wounded relationships with their children, because, and I can speak for this because as a firefighter, I did not realize the traumas I was bringing into my children's life when the pager was going off and I was running to fight fires, because I was having fun. I was enjoying life, fighting fires. But for them, their father was running into danger. Their father was running into the unknown. And you don't think about that stuff. Zero complaints. My children are well adapted into the world that they're in now, and they're good to go. But there was some pieces. Now, you got men and women that are deployed that have children and families and others. And these men and women may not make it home. We have police officers walking out their front door every single day, not knowing, and this is not something I want them to think about because they're here to serve, but they don't know if they're going to make it back to their family that day because of all the nonsense that's going on in this world. Of course, you know what? You could have the conversation about how every one of us who walks out the door may not walk back into that door that day because of the nonsense that's going on around in this world. But I do know that the men and women who have served us allow us more freedom. All right, I'm on the soapbox right now. Our debrief is brought to you by an amazing crew of people and family that have grown close to us. Brian Kinzer with Smart Living. He was on our show last night and also sharing. We also have Catch 22. That's Derek Iozio. He's down in Alabama now. The Boho Hobos Hideaway, Contagion Effect, and Operation Texas Strong. We also have Joe Maish with Temple Massager. If you don't know, you should find out. Joe has given us the awesome opportunity, to accommodate some of the social emotional needs that we need through massage. And the great piece to it is we do get a discount. He's looking to support the People's Patriot Project as well. And so make sure you visit that. I'm telling you right now, I have one of these massagers. You want to go to www.templemassage.com. Put in WeP3 Radio. Not WeP3 Radio. That's me doing my script in general. Put the code WeP3 in there, and you'll get a 20% discount. I do want to do a disclaimer. The temple massager you see on the screen, if that's one that you really want to have, you'll have to get it without the crest because it doesn't exist. I did some photoshopping, so to speak, on that bad boy, and that's what we came up with. So if you get a chance, man, support Joe and support yourself and support the People's Patriot Project. We talked about WeP3 Radio already. We did talk about vaguely the show last night. This doesn't run as smoothly when A, I start the show by myself, and B, when Andrea is not here, and Jonathan does a great job too, but it's just not the same without the person. Like Andrea distracts us, but keeps us on point. Would you agree with that, Jonathan?
For sure.
She was majorly, not that I would call her out for anything, but she was majorly distracting us last night post show.
Yeah, for sure.
Stories about frogs and who knows what else was going on. I'm glad she gets to have a chance to have a break. So last night's show, Jonathan, what do you think about last night's show?
Last night was pretty awesome. Once again, connections made. Even in the post show, we had Hank Barb from Three Beards and Tommy Richardson that were communicating back and forth, talking about how to keep the connection going even after the podcast ended. It always amazes me. But no, just fantastic, man. It was awesome to be a part of. And I look forward
there
to keeping those conversations with those guys going.
there was some like growth, and I mean the post show came down, and Mr. Barb was sharing a lot, and it's not our space to share some of the things. So some of it was just military story time, and the passion that Mr. Richards had to sit and just listen. And here's the thing, guys. I said Richardson. This guy's a Navy SEAL. And on top of that, he was a Marine as well. So, I mean, it's 2 strikes against him. He doesn't come across as a complete arrogant boob. He's got a business called Divine Savagery. Yeah, you come on. Marines are Marines. And we love you, brothers and sisters, but it's like having that ADHD brother or sister that is the one that gets everyone in trouble all the time. We know this. And again, like I said, we love you, but Tommy, he uses fitness, he uses mindset, he uses personal growth as his tools and his keys to be successful. Our pillar of the version of us tomorrow should be better than the version of us today. The guy's living it. And we had this crazy, weird parallel because Jonathan's going to talk about Hank Barb here in a second via the music side of things. But we had Richardson talking about, hey, his motivation, his drive, his passion, his mindset of, I'm getting up and moving and rolling. I'm getting stuff done. And then Hank, and again, you can go watch the show. The link is in the comments. Hank is talking about, hey, I've not always been that motivated. And I've had moments. And that is the problem that we have ran into in the past on some of our brothers and sisters who struggle. They have found where they've lost that self-motivation. And so our conversation was, how do you remedy that? Where do you go? Jeremy Daniels, good to see you, brother. Because I struggle. Here's my struggle. My struggle is, are we our brother's keeper? I mean, that's an old biblical thing. Are we our brother's keeper? I had an incident this week in regards to another business who may or may not have done me a little bit dirty. And they acknowledged that they had done something dirty. You're like, where the hell are you going with this, Mark? Well, they asked me, what can we do to remedy this? I'm going to tell you right now, it infuriates me when a business that has performed less than mediocre, seems like we like to celebrate mediocrity in life right now, but when they perform less than mediocre, turn around and says, hey, what should we do to make it right? Because now it gets into that negotiation. Me being a person that is involved in a business sometimes makes an error. And I'll be the first one to run out there and say, you know what, I'm sideways here and I did something wrong. Because that relationship is important to me, because the line of business that we do and because of where we're at, my reaction is to always go above and beyond what is probably needed to remedy the situation. This is where this is where my faults are, because then I turn around and I believe, because of my standard in society, my standard and belief system on myself, I then kind of portray, or I don't know the right word, put that on to the business. So my expectation, because that's what I'm willing to do, is they should do the same thing to me. So I wrote that letter and I told the guy, you know what? They did a little kind of remedy. Someone asked me, was it good enough? And I'm like, you know what? It's better than nothing. And it did cover the cost of the loss, is what it did do. I don't know that it buys my business to continue to be there. So what the hell does this have to do with, are you your brother's keeper? Is the relationship important to you? If it's not important to you, then maybe your brother is not, you're not your brother's keeper. But at the same time, if you want to continue to manifest, is that the right word? Manifest? I think that's the right word. Manifest that relationship and continue to build and grow that relationship, then it's important to continue to care about your brothers and sisters. So when you see them struggling, in my opinion, you should reach out to them. Now, here's last night. Mr. Richardson sat and he listened contently. He was involved. And it got late last night. And I even gave him the outs behind the scenes. I'm like, hey, brother, if you got to go, you go. And he's like, you know what? Sometimes people just need to talk. And I'm just like, this guy's a beast on another level, man. But that is his model. That is his battle cry, so to speak. He is passionate. He is driven. I'm going to be honest with you. We did a post-show. We did our post-show meeting last night. He got the chance to interact with one of his children during the post-show. And that was my favorite part of the night, because here is this mountain of a human being who lived a life where to eliminate the enemy was their job, to softly, encouragingly, I know that's not a word, mentor his child for a moment. And I'm just like, yes. At the same time, he didn't bow away. He didn't get pulled away. He was there for the mission of listening to the people that was in post show last night. And I'm just like, this guy's the dude. This guy's the dude. Straight up dude. All right. You got to check out the people that we got on the show at their mission and doing what they're doing. Again, an amazing mission. You got to get out there. Tommy Richardson, Divine Savagery. You guys check him out. So,
yeah, it was a good let's see, about 4 hours that we got to spend hanging out with them last night. And it
screen
was,
yeah, absolutely,
worth every minute of it. Also, well, I think this is where it becomes my turn to jump in. We had Hank Barb and a couple of the band members from Three Beards on last night. And I know he mentioned the names, and I apologize, I did not get them. But there was two, I think, of the four, two of the three other band members with him last night. But he's got a lot going on. He's recently become a partner in a production studio that's working on some films that are in post-production right now. One of them has to do with Hurricane Laura that came through Lake Charles. Another one has to do with some time that they spent over in Ukraine, following some of those people around. It's I'm sorry, I'm reading my notes and I kind of put some stuff out of order and it's messing me all up right now. It's he's definitely busy. And some of the songs that we had last night, he's got a lot of them. You can also hear those on WeP3 radio. But the first song he played was they played it live in studio. It's Captain Jack, and he said they were in the studio and they didn't have any of the words written yet. Just had a kind of a riff and some notes on the guitar, and somebody said just sing cadence, and so they started off singing a little cadence just to get the beat going, and it turned into a song called Captain Jack. They sang that one live on the podcast. It's off of their album Blood Makes the Grass Grow, which if you've ever been to basic training, you've probably heard that before. You can find that album. I went and found it last night on Spotify. I'm sure you can find it wherever you get your music at. They also just released a new song called Bomberay that's doing really well. We didn't get to hear that one last night, but it's on Spotify as well. I don't know if that one's on WeP3 radio yet. Captain Jack for sure is, but I'm sure we'll be getting Bomberay up very soon. The next song they sang was Driven. We had the video for this one. This song is doing very well, and they just released the music video for that one, which we had on the podcast last night. And the last song of the night was Parade. This video was actually shot in Lake Charles during a Mardi Gras parade. He was asked to write a song about America, and he felt the need to be. He felt that he was tasked with writing a song that was based in truth, but somehow trying to make it different than every other song about America. You know, that the Toby Keith and the Alan Jacksons have brought into popularity. Did a really good job with it, though. The premise of the story is life isn't all that bad after all, and we just all need to follow the lead floating the parade. And people are out here fighting with each other. We all really want the same thing, so let's just take our time and get there together. And that was what we got from Hank Barb and Three Beers last night, and again, tremendous post-show conversation with him as well. Sometimes I feel that we could have a whole nother podcast with post-show, and when we have the opportunity to meet on Tuesday nights and during our planning phase and sit down and talk with our guest ahead of the show. I'm pretty certain that we could have a whole nother podcast when we have those meetings on Tuesdays, and sometimes the post show stuff can be another podcast. I mean, we really once the camera stop rolling and the studio shuts down, there's a whole nother side of everything going on that the people who are in this thing for the mission and not for themselves really stand out and add a whole nother level to the relationship.
100%, man. And I mean, it pulled me away from my thoughts a little bit last night, and I got to share that our blessings in building the relationships, with the Boots on the Ground organization. Today, I got to contact Colonel Michael Burrows on a little favor, and he's doing treatments down in Texas. Not treatments; he's providing treatments on hyperbolic chambers for veterans to help in their brain growth and stuff. And they're like $28,000 per machine. And I asked a favor and he asked me a favor, and it's all going to be amazing. what the hell does that have to do with what Jonathan was talking about? We selfishly get to do the pieces in this mission and get to build relationships and get to enjoy life because of those relationships, and knowing that we're creating a network of opportunity for people. It just it's hard to. I got some other messages coming through. It's not even like, because I know when you get into conversations with people that are selfish, they're about themselves. But the thing is, I am selfishly taking care of myself because I'm taking care of other people. And again, none of this has to do with me. It's the opportunity we have. And there have been some times where the conversations have, oh, this is all about you. No, I didn't even want to be a face of this thing. We never even wanted to do a podcast. The podcast kind of grew on its own out of necessity, and the people I'm distracted, and I'm trying to get all my thoughts together at the same time right now. We are blessed by the relationship. Again, Jonathan said 4 hours last night on screen time with people. It is exciting. I'm ecstatic. The conversation I had today, which I haven't had a chance to share with Jonathan yet, we're going to go, man, forward, drive this thing. Sometimes the only way to get to the place is by taking that first step. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You got to get off the couch. You got to get out of bed. You got to be part of something. And this is what we're part of. And for those who don't have something to be part of, not a part of, remember that lesson. Andrea wants to say happy birthday to BJ Leggett. He's one of our amazing musicians from back in the day. Actually, you'll be seeing BJ Leggett in Minnesota June 18 and 19 for Rivertown Days. He's coming up with Dom Kurz and maybe one more artist to be just side notes, shit stuff I meant to say, all day long. And should we say happy St. Patrick's Day? Are you wearing green, Jonathan?
Yep.
There it is. Andrea asked me if I was ready with my green. She's Irish. She's a Noble, not a maiden name Noble. So we get to cheat a little bit with because I wear WeP3 green all the time, because our green doesn't go unseen, and it's our beacon. And we're spoiled, and we get to celebrate St. Patrick's Day because we have green. That's the way it works. Do you think I'm asking the wrong guy, because they use Mardi Gras as an opportunity to party for 8 months of the year? Do you think are there big? You said yesterday no. There's no big St. Patty's Day events down in Louisiana.
Not this weekend, but no, we had the St. Patty's Day parade.
Well, that's today. Oh, you mean, yeah. That's Mardi Gras every day for how long? And you can't give a weekend to St. Patty's Day, for Pete's sakes.
Yeah, we have a St. Patty's Day parade, usually several different locations throughout the state, but it's usually the weekend before.
Well, that would have been this weekend, Jonathan.
Yeah, I didn't go.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. You're probably still recovering from Mardi Gras. I get it.
Probably a little bit, yeah.
Do you think we celebrate St. Patrick's Day? This was on the radio this morning, not our radio, another radio station I listened to in the morning. Do you think we celebrate St. Patrick's Day because we're interested in St. Patrick's Day, or what it represents, or is it just another day to party?
Truth, I think mostly it's another day to party for most people. Um, I I don't have the sheet from last night pulled up, but at some point it was intentionally turned and commercialized so that it could bring more publicity and um, I just think that at some point it was done intentionally to become more of a party, kind of like Cinco de Mayo a little bit to me. I
You're
mean, maybe.
really minimizing some cultural significance here, Jonathan.
Well, no, I mean,
I'm
I can throw Mardi Gras in there too.
I'm separating myself from Jonathan just so we can just not.
So the it was intended so that the the Roman Catholics could have a break in the Lenten season and have a feast day. So that was the intention of celebrating it and making St. Patty's Day a well-known holiday. So I guess
Well,
it was intentionally made. I don't know. I won't say it was made, but it was intentionally done and and pushed in that general direction. I feel so.
sure. And I'm not. I'm not. I won't say I'm completely versed. There should be 3 or more weeks of St. Patty's Day. Yeah, Andrea, you're not wrong. And they should throw beads off the of some kind of vessel that it does commemorate the death of St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, and was evolved into a celebration of Irish culture with parades, music, food, and the color green. It was a total squirrel moment. Bobby Withrow was on last night. Bobby, we're still thinking of you and your mom. Mom's struggling a little bit. Bobby does know that we're sharing that information. Bobby runs an organization called Texas Fallen down in Texas. He was a little naughty, and I don't know what. Do we know where that parade route was in Hank Barb's video that was during Mardi Gras when he was doing? It was called Parade. Do you know that any of that look familiar to you?
No, I don't know. I know where Lake Charles is. I've driven through it many, many times, but
Sure.
that's not a space that I go to hang out. It's basically a big industrial town with lots of casinos, and that's
So
outsiders go to gamble or work, and that's about it.
your wife rode one of the floats this year, and we've got a dear friend down there who runs another organization who drives for a float. And so, what do you do during this? Are you in the crowd, or are you on the float as well, or what do you do?
Oh man, good question. So when you ride, what they call ride day, they get together at about 8 o'clock in the morning and they jump on a party bus and they ride the party bus around all day long. Um, for ride day, for any parade, the bar rooms open up at like 8 a.m. and stay open all day, but they're only open for riders. Um, and so basically, my wife rides on a all women crew. So they jumped on the party bus and took off, and we went and picked up food and all of that. And me and one of my friends, his wife also rides. We hung out all day and cooked hamburgers and hot dogs and fed them lunch when the party bus came back. We had lunch for everybody on the float, and then they took off again. And when they got ready to load the float and get to riding about 5:30 or so, we had cooked up a whole nother meal and brought them supper for the float so they can keep their carbs up, which hopefully keeps the alcohol content down.
So Bobby Withrow was concerned that there wasn't some activities involved in that particular parade scene, because some people do actions that gets you beads thrown to you, right? No, that doesn't happen.
That's a lot more limited to the New Orleans and the Metairie parades and stuff like that. The outside areas like Homa and Lake
Isn't it
Charles,
pronounced
those are more
Nolans? Nolans?
New Orleans. New
Oh,
Orleans.
New Orleans. We gotta say, like, you're gonna get me in trouble, dog. You're gonna get me in trouble.
No, the outside areas of
Yeah.
outside of New Orleans and things like that, those places are more family oriented. Parades. They're not as wild as not usually as wild as New Orleans. I'm not saying it doesn't happen occasionally, but it's not, people aren't out there with that intention for the most part.
Checking. Do you have to be reminded to keep your shirt on while you're there, Jonathan?
Nah. Nope.
What else do we got going on WeP3? We got some, like I already said, we got the Rivertown Days, or I think Andrew had corrected me, Rivertown Live coming up in June. No major announcements. I will share some stuff with you after show.
I do know that, and I don't have the exact days down in front of me, but in May we have the opportunity to be part of a Q&A panel.
Okay.
On stage, people get to ask questions. We're going to be the WeP3 team down here in Louisiana will be handling questions surrounding veterans and first responders. But the name of the event is HOPE, which stands for Hold On, Pain Ends, and it's put on by a lady who lost her son to suicide. So it's definitely an event that I would highly recommend people go to. And there will be plenty of like we do in South Louisiana, man. I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of good food and friendship and camaraderie. And in the end, we'll all get to hopefully learn something about ourselves or how to help someone else in need. So if you get a chance to head out there, I'll get the dates and all that. But I know it's in May, and it's in Cutoff, and it's called Hold On, Pain Ends event.
Yeah, I get that. I also know that we were invited to an event down in Texas on the 6th of May. That's going to be impossible to make it to that unless I win the lottery or something between now and then. That's on a Tuesday, and so that's just not going to quite work in the old schedule of the school teacher that runs a nonprofit. And so, yeah, there we go. We got a lot of stuff. We're trying to get another event going on in August. We made some ground on that today. We'll share more I feel behind the 8 ball a little bit on this one, but we'll see what happens. We got some requisitions out there that if they happen, we're just going to go for it. I'll share with you, Jonathan, later. So again, the things that you need to do, your call to action pieces, make sure you're checking your 6. You do your text message to 6 people in your life that just thinking about you. Consider Reads Across America. There are people all over laying at rest across our country. Reach out to Reads Across America, find out how you can help and support, and just honor, remember, and teach those about the men and women who have sacrificed so much to give us the freedoms and liberties that we have now. Listen to WeP3 Radio during the week. Here's your list of things to do, man. If you can, get to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see our live shows and any of the past shows too. Go check out Joe Meisch with Temple Massager. Go check out Brian Kenzer. Oh, I should have this stuff memorized, but I don't. Brian Kenzer. What's up?
Smart Living.
Yeah, Smart Living. That's American-made products and products that make you healthier. And then next Sunday, we have the chance again. We're back here again. We got Aaron Moraine with Vets LLC. This Vets is VETZ. Hear what his mission is, and then the amazing music of Glenn Baker. And so excited to have these guys. Also, we're going to end on, there's a song that we had loaded up last night that we didn't get to because they did a live version, Captain Jack. And so we'll play, yeah.
Real quick shout out to Andrew Wooten, who we had on the show last week before. Recently.
Yeah.
We had him on the show recently.
Recently.
Just found out that he is having a boy.
It's a boy. Bow, 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 bow. All right. You got anything else, Jonathan?
No, that's I think I'm good.
Good. I think I'm good too. We're gonna listen to Three Beards one more time as we're closing. And this is Oh Death. Come see us, Patriot Pride.
My name is Death, and none can tell. I can open the gates of heaven and hell, and cast aside the flesh of beings, cast aside and set them free. Won't spare me for another year. Won't spare me for another year. Now lock their jaws so they can't talk, split their legs so they can't walk, close their eyes so they can't see. Tell the gate they can come for me. Won't spare me for another year. Won't spare me for another year. My name stage.